Hello, year 8. Welcome to Mr. Chan's classroom. How are you guys? Hope you guys have had a pretty good weekend. I certainly did. So, today in science, we will actually look at something really interesting, which is a closer look into your atoms. As you guys still remember, atoms is actually what made up the whole world, everything in life, pretty much. Okay, so we are gonna look at a few keywords, okay, and bear in mind this is the first part of a few parts because I decided to break it down a bit. There are way too many information that you have to know, so don't worry, I will guide you through that. So here are a few keywords for you. So keyword number 1 is atoms. Keyword number 2 is John Dalton. Keyword number 3 is atomic theories of matters, and keyword number 4 is scientific model. Let's go through each of them. So atoms is what makes up everything around you, okay, and they are really small, so you can't actually see them with your eyes. You actually need a type of scanning tunneling microscope called STM to actually able to see how they look like. If you actually had a look underneath there, you will realize atoms are actually like a round ball kind of look, and there are gazillion of them to make up one things. Okay, so that is atoms. Second, John Dalton. Who is this guy? So John Dalton is a British scientist who actually come out and predict how atoms actually like to begin with. Okay, so he is probably, yeah, you can say he's like the pioneer, or like the godfather of atoms. What he actually predict is, this is him. I actually make a really cute drawing of him, okay, right over here. So he is the one that predicted that number 1, key point 1, 2, 3, and 4. So he predicted all matters is composed by atoms, okay, called atoms. And number 2, he predicted that elements are made out of one type of atoms, as we know from previous videos. And obviously compounds are made up of more than one type of atoms, okay. And number 4, which is a very important one, atoms cannot be created or destroyed, but it can be rearranged to form different substance. Okay, so he is the one that come out with this atomic theory of matter, which carry into the third key point. Okay, so atomic theory of matter, what happened here is he able to use these 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 to create a scientific model of how atoms look like, which is over here. So there are 117 type of atoms, as we know, in your periodic table. Okay, so each element, right, is actually made out of one type of atoms. We know that. So there are 117 of them. So this is just one of them. Okay, so with this, I use different colors to code these 3 things in atoms. So in atoms, there are 3 subatomic structure. Okay, and these particles, subatomic particles called proton, neutrons, and electrons. And these three things is what make up one atoms. Okay, as you know, this is how it looks like. Just go over here for a second. So as we know, atoms is kind of like round. So what is the round thing actually is? It is the electron orbit. Okay, so atoms actually has a central called the nucleus. Okay, so call your nucleus. So in nucleus is actually made out of proton and made out of electron. And if you look over here, proton is actually a positive charge particles, okay, and subparticles, actually subatomic particle. Neutrons on the other hand has no charge. When it's no charge, that means it is zero, literally no charge at all. So those two are the one that make up your nucleus. Okay, however, what's on the outside of that nucleus is the electron orbits, and on your electron orbits there are lots of electrons circling around it like a cloud. Okay, and electron is negatively charged. It has a sign of -1, while your proton has +1, and neutron just has a 0. Okay, and one fun fact that you have to know, actually quite good to know, is each electron is actually 1,800 times smaller. Okay, it's ridiculously small. Okay, so what electrons are doing out here is actually just circulating around, and it actually affects how the atoms behave as well. Okay, and with each of the atoms, all atoms are neutral. Okay, so why is it neutral? Because what happened is we have positive and negative charge and stuff, right? Remember, what number of proton is very important. Number of proton is always equal to number of electron. Okay, so they have to have the same number. Let's see if I did it correctly or not. I just drew that randomly before I begin this video, so I might have to check it back. So with these atoms we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 6 pink neutron. Okay, it doesn't matter. So we have to look at how many proton and electron we have. So proton we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 proton. How many electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 electrons, so that doesn't add up, isn't it? So what happened is I have to put 3 more proton in here. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Now it adds up. Okay, so what happened is, as we know, they balance each other out. So 8 positive charge proton balance out 8 negative charge electrons. Okay, that's why all atoms become neutral. So to conclude these videos, we went through who John Dalton is, what are atoms, what actually inside the atoms, and we also talk about atomic theory of matter. Okay, that is right here. and we look at the scientific model of how atoms look like, and actually introduce you proton, electron, and neutrons. Protons are positively charged. Remember that easily. You just look at the P, okay? So the P stands for positive, so positive proton. And electron is your negatively charged atoms, a subparticle. And your neutrons has no charge, okay? So with next video I actually will talk about how to draw each of the atoms based on your periodic table, and also teach you how to read the number that is shown on each of the periodic table that tells you something about each different types of atoms. Thank you for listening. Hope you have learned something and wrote your notes. I would like to have a look at that. Thank you. Peace out. Bye. Ciao.